My name is Raya Ani. I'm an architect. I studied undergraduate at Baghdad University, and then I did my graduate at MIT. I have my own company called RAW-NYC Architects. We are based in Dubai Design District, and in New York. So I do travel between the two lovely cities. My mother always wanted to be an architect, but she couldn't because women at that time in Iraq were not allowed into studying science to become an architect. So she actually ended up studying humanities. So she became an artist as well as a teacher of art, professor of art. So she was not able to do architecture. So I think I took from her the art genes, and I also saw my sister, who's older, a few years older than me, doing architecture, and I felt this is the profession I want to do. So that's how I end up in architecture. Going to architecture school in Baghdad is different because you are supposed to follow a program, very set program. So it doesn't have flexibility. So it's a very rigorous program that you have to study a lot of engineering parts. So it's kind of, my degree was architectural engineering. While when I went to MIT, it was so flexible and you can decide, you have some courses that you have to take, but otherwise it's very flexible, which is something that I'm completely not used to, coming from a background that is very, predetermined how you should be studying and your time and how you manage your time. You have to follow the program, basically. If you're raised in a society where you have options and you have to make choices, of course you will be developed early in your life as a person who can voice their preferences. I mean, sometimes it's too many options. Students now have too many options, and I've noticed that some people go in a field and they decided after a few years they want to change their field. In Iraq, it's a bit different. I mean, once we are doing something, it's not that easy to change. However, the disadvantages is that you don't really have a way to determine what your preference is because you're not really raised or surrounded by a society that encourages you to have opinions and not follow the kind of organized or predetermined program. I think it would be good for students before committing to going to a graduate school or even undergraduate school is to take courses or workshops actually in architecture design. I think that will help them get a better sense of what it means to be an architect and what does it require and if they have what it takes. I think there are many opportunities now to take these workshops and be more exposed, and that would help people be more focused so they don't really lose time by going into something and then them later deciding that they want to study something else or maybe something related but not exactly. It might be some people do architecture and decide they want to do industrial design. So I think it's good to know this early on rather than waiting at the end. Recently, I have been interested in emotions in the sense of how you experience things. And I think my kind of focus these days has been into joyful experiences. So I also think that when you think about sustainability, I think people think about something that is maybe too little of something, or something that is so precious that you need to use very little of it. And I'm thinking about a very different concept, saying that abundance, like having a lot of something, for example, if I go to a shower, if I take a shower, I want to have a lot of water, but at the same time, so this gives me a feeling of abundance, I have this access to water that I could shower and there's a huge volume, but at the same time, the idea of sustainability still can be part of it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say that we want to create joyful experiences. And yes, we go through, our society and our environment goes through so many challenges, but I think that we should not forget that we need to live life fully. And I'm very interested in how you can live life fully, yet be kind of sustainable and thoughtful. But I think abundance and like abundance of feelings and emotions and joy can be integrated part of this. So that's why today I'm very interested in the contrasts of feelings and emotions. It's great that I think we should start thinking about creating joyful experiences out of the mundane things you do every day. If you think about like going in the morning into the shower, washing your face, these are like simple things that we all have to do and they're functional things. But I think if we create like joyful experience out of these functions, then I think that we have spent most of our day trying to create joyful experiences. So I think like even touching your face, like washing your body, I think this is all you can create certain feeling and certain joy out of doing it. So it's not like just like you're doing it, but you're really enjoying the experience. And I think that we need to do this nowadays because we are constantly working around the clock and there's a lot of pressure in our lives. And I think we have to stop and enjoy these things that we never thought about it as being kind of a luxury thing. And so kind of this whole idea about abundance, about having more, about taking care of the self, because I think this is how we can really create more joyful existence. We're all overworked and we're always having a lot of pressures. And I think abundance and the luxury of having more access to things, it's great. And I think that doesn't contradict our ethos of sustainability. I think this is where innovation comes. Like we need to be innovative of how to enjoy abundance, yet being ethical and kind of with concern to the environment. But I think we can do it hand in hand.